really want to welcome you to my YouTube channel called Let's Take a Look at Life, where we discuss various issues that pertain to things we go through as humans and some of the chapters of my book and things I've been through, and I'd love to share that with you. Hi, I'm Tanja and I just want to welcome you to my channel called Let's Take a Look at Life. This is a time that we're just going to spend looking into portions of my chapters of my life through the book that I've written, and also just generally looking at life and how things are happening out there and how we can actually react or respond to the things that come our way. So welcome, and this is episode 7. And we will be calling it, let's see, Heritage is my dilemma. So, I have a portion in my book where I remember a very sad moment when my father passed away in my arms, and the moment of death is probably, one of the most intense moments you can ever face. Knowing that it is such a final moment, and the interesting thing was for me, when the way my father was actually dying in the process was not great. It was quite a traumatic death that he was going through, where his aorta had burst and he was basically drowning or suffocating in his own blood. And sorry for those gory details, but that was my reality in the moment. The interesting thing that I did experience was he was in my arms and I could see his face and his eyes were open, but they were not in a panic state. They were not even going through anything that his body was going through. And he was gone. He was not there. The man, the spirit man, my dad, had left his body and he was no longer there. It was his body that was going through the motions of the death experience. And when I think about that, I cannot help remembering, our discussions and our conversations throughout the years of my life, and him being an amazing guide in my life. And knowing that he had left me with one of the most awesome gifts was the Bible that he had worked through for most of his time in the ministry, that had notes of his own handwriting all over the place, where he had highlighted things. We had made little notes on the side. And to me, that was the most cherished gift of inheritance that I could receive from him, other than the legacy that he had left in my heart of walking a path that was deeper and more intensely focused on living the life that God had purposed for me to live. Right, so I don't know if you noticed, but I am kind of wearing the flag of my country, South Africa. And it is put in a really girly format, so I really love this. And one of the designers in our country put it together, and I just think that was just amazing. But this, ironically, is in my country where we have Heritage Day. It has always been a really big dilemma for me. My daughter, since a very young age, when she was in school, we would have, the school would have Heritage Day, and everyone would come there dressed in the most beautiful outfits, from Zulu to Xhosa to Tswana to Sotho, all the most lovely African outfits, because they knew that was their heritage, that was their culture that they came out of. I, on the other hand, had no idea what I was going to dress my daughter in, because we have an incredibly wide variety of heritage that I eventually went to do a test on. And our heritage as I am sitting here right now, I could probably have my very own G20 summit, and all of us will be involved. I have Russian in my blood, I have Palestinian, I have Indian, I have French, English, Irish, you name it. I think the only, probably I can maybe on a short list what I don't have, and that is Asia, China, and Latin America is basically almost what I don't have. The rest, as for that, is all here in this bloodline. And I always wondered, how do we actually, show where we are really from? Because there's not a very specific, pinpointed cultural identification that I can say that exactly is me. Whether I dress in a French outfit, it is a small portion of what I represent in my heritage. Whether I dress even from Jewish to, as I say, Indian, Pakistani, all of that. Even proud to say that I have a percentage in my blood of Khoisan. So yes, I am proudly South African, but it is a mix. It is something of proportional measures, and how do I put an outfit together to represent all of that? There was my dilemma. And it's very interesting that, with having said with my father that was of French descent, that I know, because our surname being de Melon is just that. We also have my mom's side, etc., and it is a full combination of color and culture and all this, and I just love the different cultures that this world has. So when it comes to meals, when it comes to the way we do things, we never as a family had any specific traditional, other than your typical Christmas or Easter, certain things that we went through as a family, but we never had specific clothes that we wore. We never had very specific types of food that we ate. We ate pretty much across the board. And I always had this question in me: how do I relate to a specific cultural group when I don't really understand the depth of that? And I think to a certain degree, I'm very grateful that I don't have too much of a specific tradition that calls me to a very specific way. I have what my dad left me, a legacy of the Word of God. And in Psalm 119, verse 111, it says, "Your statutes are my heritage forever." Meaning that what God has written in His Word and what He has said and spoken forth, that has become a law to me, the way to live for me, that is my heritage. They are the joy of my heart. And what I am thankful about, and as I've raised my daughter in this dilemma, because eventually we kind of bunked Heritage Day because we just had no idea how do we dress and what do we look like. But at the end of the day, we are, as humans, none of us really, because when my father passed away, it didn't matter what he was wearing in that moment. It didn't matter any form of tradition that we would have had in that moment, because death comes the same to all of us. We come in naked and we leave naked. There is nothing that we can, be in this earth that that will make a difference to how we get past death. And if I saw the peace in his eyes in his moments, in his last moments of leaving this world, I I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that he had seen his Creator, and he was at the greatest of peace when he was going. So to me, in the end of the day, whether we are black, white, purple, green, and whether we wave what flag, the humanity side of us needs to be risen above the things that we necessarily have been told by tradition. I just think one needs to really think about, and not just follow, but think about what you are living into. Is this something that makes future sense to you? Is it good for you? Is it going to create a great heritage for your children and the children's children? Or are the traditions that are sometimes put upon us something that actually shackles us and keeps us bound and keeps the generations ahead of us bound? And I'm sure at the end of at the moment we can all agree that this world is rather upside down. If we look on any of our news channels, we will see that. And Jesus himself even said, in this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. And that was his words to us. And to me, those words and the moment my dad passed away in my arms come together and culminate for me in the fact that everything is going to come to an end at some point, whether for an individual or this whole planet in the crazy place it is. We need to have that relationship, that inheritance with God our Father, that is an eternal inheritance that will take us beyond this world. And living in this world in the right way, if you ask me, as a human being, respecting another person, loving, forgiving, living my life with an ultimate purpose, having work ethics, moral values, things that will count positively for all of us, no matter what tradition or culture we come from. If we base our humanity on the things that God has said are statutes in his word, I believe that we will all be able to be an amazing group of people together, enjoying one another's variety and diversity and uniqueness, and not being threatened by it, but just being able to love another person for who they are and where they're at. So this was a very interesting experience for me, I think I was in over 40, maybe 45 when I did my ancestry test. And it just opened up, the questions I had, because I think one of my favorite hobbies, if I lived close to an airport, you'd always find me there, just staring at the various cultures that come from all over the world and really feeling, just a kindred spirit with all of them. And now I kind of understand why, because of the very wide spectrum of, ancestry that one has. And on the test that I did, it says the ancestry of human beings is rich and varied. If we look far enough into the past, it connects us all. And that brings me back to the truth that we are humans to start off with. None of us chose what culture or color or what we would come into. As humans, we came into this world, and as humans, we will leave this world. So beyond, over and above and beyond the cultural traditions that are passed along to us, we also need to use our own minds and our own logic and our own hearts to search into, is this good for me and my future? And so yes, take the best out of everything, take the best of what's been given to you, and then pass that on to the next generation. So thank you so much. I've had a great time just sharing again and just being real about me and about life and the things we deal with in this life. So I'm very thrilled to say there will be more episodes, and if there's any episodes you've missed, please look into that on the playlist. We just look at various aspects of life and we delve into these subjects. This was Tanja with episode 7 of Let's Take a Look at Life, my YouTube channel, and I'd love you to subscribe or leave a comment, and I would love to get back to you and connect in some way. So on my social media platforms, you are also welcome to connect with me. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Hi there, my name is Tanja and I really want to welcome you to my YouTube channel called Let's Take a Look at Life, where we discuss various issues that pertain to things we go through as humans and some of the chapters of my book and things I've been through, and I'd love to share that with you.